Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today is the day. I am going blind, y'all. I've been talking about this forever and I'm finally about to do it. So let's do it. Now let's talk what I'm going to be using. I am going to be using Big Knife from my Identity TANG collection night level lightener. That's what I'm using. I usually use Blonde Me, Schwarzkopf Blonde Me to do my clients, or depending on what I'm doing, I might use Redken Flash Lift. But I've never tried this. I've had this in my cabinet for about 6 months now, and I finally have the guts to do it. COVID-19 made me do it. Just COVID made me do it. Now, my developer of choice is going to be myidentity Permanent Color 20 volume. Now, I'm using 20 volume because I want my lift to be slow. Now, in my other videos, which I'm going to link in the description below, I talk about the different developers and why you want to use them. Now, because I'm doing bleach, those of you who don't understand the process, 20 will still get me to where I want to be. It might just be a slow process. And the way I'm doing this is I'm trying to do maybe a section a day because I'm not trying to rush this because I've never done this before. So I've sectioned my hair off in 6 parts. I have 3, 1, 2, 3 in the front, and I'll turn around so you can see the back. I have 3 sections in the back too. So what I plan on doing is maybe doing a section a day. I'm not going to rush this. I'm going to try and film as much as this process to me. I don't know if I'll be able to film the back as much because I've never foiled my hair ever before. This is going to be an experiment for me and for you. So stay tuned. Now, because I am doing this myself, I want to make sure that my hair does not fall out in the process where I just go bald trying to foil my hair myself. I'm going to be using Olaplex traveling kit. I've done a whole video on Olaplex that I'm going to also link in the description so you can see what it does, how it works, all of that stuff. I am an affiliate to Olaplex, and so I have my affiliate link below if you ever want to purchase something and support me. I give you all this information. The least you can do is just support me. So I'm opening up the box, my Olaplex box, and I'll show you how I'm mixing when I start doing the mixing. The foils I'm going to be using are these pretty pink foils from Fremont. I know I'm probably going to run out. I'm probably going to use some more Fremont foils that I have that I can use to foil my hair. So this is kind of nerve-wracking to me because I've talked about it for almost 2 years, and I'm finally about to do it during this quarantine time. I got bored and I've been planning this out that I'm going to do it, but today is finally the day, so let's do it. Let's just do it. The mixing ratio of this bleach to developer is 1:1 or 1:1.5. I didn't really have a scale, and so I put it in my measuring cup, which is not necessarily the best way, but I figured maybe I should just measure it in there, and that didn't work out really well because it's a creamy consistency. And so what I am going to do is just put it right back into the bowl, and then I'm going to measure the developer in the measuring cup, which I should have done in the first place. So that's what I'm doing, putting it right back into the bowl. And I start off by doing 1 ounce of the bleach to 1 ounce of the developer. And so I'm just pouring the developer back into the measuring cup, and I'm going to measure about 2 ounces. So it's about 2 ounces of bleach that I use, and so I'm using 2 ounces of developer. So I do the 1:1 ratio, and then I'm going to kind of use my metal whisk. People don't like that, but that's all I have in my house. So, and then I'm going to use my Olaplex, but you have to mix the mixture first before you add the Olaplex to it. So I am mixing up, making sure that I get all the granules to be all liquidy and mixed with my stuff, so I have a very even consistency. Sometimes when you don't mix these mixtures very properly, they end up being chunky and it gives you an uneven lift. And so I want a better lift. I added some more bleach to my mixture because it was a little bit too runny for me, and so sometimes I do that. And so now the mixture is not necessarily 1:1. It's like I used a little bit more bleach than I did the developer because I like to have a particular type of consistency. And then I mix more to make sure that it's really even and all the way together before I proceed to add my Olaplex. And so now I like my consistency. It's nice and creamy. A lot of people who have used Guy 10, myidentity, Big Night Bleach say it works really well. It lifts up to 9 levels, and that's where I'm trying to go. I mean, my hair is about level 6 already, so I really don't need it to go 9 levels. I need it to go about 3-4 levels, and I'm using about 1/16 of an ounce of the Olaplex. I have the dispenser on the top, so I just squeeze it to about 1/16 of an ounce, and I'm going to pour it into the bowl of the bleach and developer mixture. Then I'm going to kind of mix it together. Make sure that it's also all evenly distributed in my mixture before I move forward. So I'm going back in there and mixing up my mixture. This is process looks long and sounds long, but it's important that my bleach is completely mixed up and is very even, so that when I start doing what I do, I will have a very even lift. So this part should not be skipped. You should make sure that your mixture is very even before you proceed to apply. So let's go. So here we go. I am taking the smallest sections that I can. I want these to be baby lights, so I'm taking very small sections. If I had somebody do this, I probably would have had them even take more smaller sections and not leave out that much of the brown out, but I have to take some and give some. So I have the very first section I am foiling. It's going okay, so it seems like this is going to work. You know, I had doubts about me being able to like apply and look in another mirror and try and look at my back, but it's going well. The first section is complete. I folded up the foils, secured it, and I am good to go. So first section done. Let's keep going. My next section is also a very small section. I mean, I am trying to make these as small as possible, and I'm taking slices instead of weaving them, because taking slices was a little bit easier than trying to do try and weave my sections. So my slices are very see-through, as you can see there, and so the point is that the lightener will be able to penetrate through each section. That way I don't have any patches in my highlights. So my sections, I hope moving forward, is just this very small sections you can see through. I can saturate each section and just keep it going. Also, I am not applying the liner to the very base of my hair. I'm leaving about an inch out, an inch or two out, so that when I have to retouch my roots, I don't have to mess up my highlights. So that pretty much I am kind of doing an ombre baby light sort of, but not really, if that makes sense. That I'm not starting from my root. I mean, that's what everybody does now. So I'm doing that so that I don't have to go back tomorrow and have to retouch my highlights, and then I can do my roots and keep my highlights still together. So I'm going to speed this up and we can just keep going. So when I got all the way up here, I was like, oh, your girl is going. And wouldn't God do it? Because I was just kept on going and going, and it was becoming like a more easier process for me. And it was like almost like a systematic thing now, and I wasn't really thinking about it as much. So I was just following and going up that one section, doing the same thing that I've been doing, taking slices, making sure that I'm leaving about an inch and a half or 2 inches from the base, and just kept on foiling until I was done with that one section. Okay, folks, it's the morning of day 2. I have foiled about 1.5 sections of my hair. I'll turn around so you can look at it. I foiled this part and I foiled the bottom part of it. Now, I got the blonde that I'm looking for, but I do have some warmth in the bottom of my hair, which I'll show you how I'll do it. I'm gonna root top my hair, sort of color melt it when I'm toning it, but I'll do that later. So I'm going to foil the other half of my hair for day 2. I'm doing this slow. I told you guys this is not going to be quick. That way I can get the results that I want. So let's go. I'm done foiling the second half of my hair for today. If you can see my foils, I'll turn around so you can look at it. These are the foils I did, and this is the side. So like I did yesterday, I got bleach on my face. Oh, my face is dry. But anywho, so what I did was I've been sitting for about 50 minutes, almost an hour, and I'm going to remove my foils. I'll start from the ones that I did first, which is the ones here in the top here, and then I'll come back and finish here all set. So the reason why I'm taking my time so that I can have enough time to sit and also not have the bleach sit on my hair forever if I was going to fold my whole hair. So let me take these out and have you see how these look like. I didn't do that yesterday, but let me show you how they look like over here today. Okay, so I'm gonna turn around so you can see my hair. It has gotten really nice and yellow. That's exactly what I was going for. Let me turn around so you can see my back. I took the foils in the middle out, and I'm waiting for this side to process. So I'll turn around. So if I turn around, you see my curl. You can tell that my curl pattern has released a little bit. It's not as tight as it was. I knew this going into it that my curl pattern would do what it's doing, and so that's not a problem. So maybe my wash and goes will be looking a little bit more elongated than they usually do, which is fine. And then I also have between my brown and the blonde that sort of orangey section that I have there. I can melt it like I talked before with a lower level toner so that my hair can just look nice and transitional. So I'm gonna wait for this part to process, and I'm just gonna like take it out and condition it and all of that stuff, and then I'll come back tomorrow and start foiling the front section. So I don't really think you should do this at home, but if you're brave like me, even hairstylists don't do this at home. Most of us wait and have other people do it for. I have all the time in the world now. That's what I'm doing, but be careful when you do these type of things so that you don't mess up your hair in the process. Okay, see you tomorrow. Day 3. I didn't talk about this yesterday, but let's talk about it. If you watch my videos, you know that about a month ago I did my roots. My roots were about this grown out, about almost 3 inches grown out, and I did it, and I've been home for like 4 weeks or more, and my roots have grown out. Now I know some of you guys might question, or maybe come at me in the comments as to why I didn't do my roots before I'm doing my highlights. It's because I like to wait my hair out. I didn't want to do my roots right away and then kind of sort of bleach it, if that makes sense, or get bleach really close to my roots. Now I'm bleaching. I'm stopping right about right here when I do my highlights. So I want a little bit of my roots to grow out because I just don't like to do chemical on top of chemicals, if that makes sense. I'm waiting it out a little bit before I do my roots, and usually I use really high volume developer to do my root, because my hair color is the high lift color. It lifts my hair from a level 1, my hair is black, you can tell, black, to all the way to a level 6. So I usually, and that's 6 levels of lift with my high lift. So I usually don't like to go back to back on my roots, and that's why I'm not doing my roots first before I'm doing my highlights. I'm assuming that about a month and a half from now I'll redo my roots, so my roots will be brown again. But I didn't want to temper with my roots because I just did my roots about 4 to 5 weeks ago. So that's why I have it grow out. My hair is growing out kind of quickly, more quickly than I thought. I usually don't pay attention to my growth because I'm always busy. But I've noticed that my roots have grown out, but I didn't want to do my roots before my highlights because I just wanted to wait it out a little bit longer. So don't come for me. I know what I'm doing here. Okay, so let's go. Now, I'm in my front, I'm facing the camera, so maybe I can show you a lot more clearly how I'm going to be foiling. I figured out the back, but I haven't really figured out what I'm going to do to the front. I already know that I want to be brighter in the front. So a quick tip here is, you know, I have these baby hairs over here. I don't necessarily want to highlight it. And also in the front, you can tell in the back when I was foiling, I was going very, I was doing horizontal sections because it was much easier for me to foil that way. Now in my front, I usually am able to work with my front a little bit better. So I'm going to be going more diagonal, and I'm also not going to be trying to bleach my baby hairs, otherwise it looks weird and broken off. So we don't even do this at the salon, so I'm not doing that. And I think I'm gonna split my foils too here in the front, and then sort of try and figure out how to do this. Again, my bleach has already been mixed up, and I'm going to foil my front. Let's do it. This is hard, again, for me because I have to figure this out. So this is what I'm doing with my front. You see that? I'm still letting my roots like not get saturated because of the fact that I want my roots to be shadowed darker and brown. So that's how I'm gonna do it. So you already know the spill. Also, my foiling is not the neatest. Usually when I do my foils in the salon, I kind of like to make it look nice and neat, but I don't really have as much control here because I'm doing this by myself. This is really hard to do by yourself. So I'm trying to foil in the best of my abilities, but I'm not out here trying to show off either. And trying to get the best foils ever because it's not necessary for what I'm trying to do. So I'm taking really small sections. Okay, let's go. I want my sections to be really small so I can be really bright in the front. I think in the front too, one of the things that I want to do is to do back-to-back sections. So instead of leaving some foils in between my sections, I don't think I'll do that much like that. I will still leave some sections out, but especially in the very front part of my hair, I want to do back-to-back foils. I still know that I'm going to get that line of demarcation because I'm not teasing my hair. Sometimes to kind of help with that, we tease the hair so that you don't get that straight line. I don't think I'm going to be able to tease my hair, and that's why I'm okay with just doing just saturating my hair, get that line of demarcation. And like I told you guys before, I'm going to tone or color melt my roots so that I can get this, I can get a nice transition of color. So I'll come back, I'll do some more foils, come back, show you how I did them, and we can keep going. So I'm doing back to back in these fronts, in this front section. Oh, I got bleach on my face. And I'll be back to show you some more. Day 3, successfully foiled. You look at my foils, I'm more of an angle. For this section, I did back-to-back foils, and I left some hair in between it, do back-to-back, then I leave some hair in between it. So that's kind of what I was doing, back-to-back, and I leave some hair in between it because I wanted to have more brightness in my face, and that was the reason why I did it like that. So I'm going to go ahead and take my foils out, rinse it, and come back and give you a close-up of what my front looks like. Okay, I'm back. My hair is rinsed out. You see how I wanted my front to be much brighter? My front is much brighter. You still see the warmth and the base that I keep telling you about. This part didn't get as bright, but I don't want to refoil it or put any more bleach on it. But it's still where I can still work with, so I'm fine in terms of how bright it is. It's not orange, it's more not as yellow like how I want it to be. This is like much brighter. Well, most people, we want our front to be brighter, so I'm not really concerned about that. We will tone it and see how it looks like. But don't you guys forget about Olaplex number 2. I rinsed it out. I'm trying to show you all the steps that I do in each section. I might not show that in every day, you know, my daily videos. So I just rinsed out my hair. I didn't condition or I didn't shampoo or condition it. I'm just following it up with Olaplex number 2. I showed it right, number 2. I already told you I am an Olaplex affiliate, and so if you're interested in buying Olaplex, which I strongly suggest if you are bleaching your hair at home like me, go down in my description and go and buy you some Olaplex and mix it with your bleach. Now what it does is it reinforces your hair and gives your hair the integrity that you need so it doesn't kind of fall off or break off when you're trying to get really light colors like mine. Now in terms of integrity, sometimes when you overprocess your hair poop or leave the bleach in your hair too long, or your hair just can't take it because it's not strong enough for all that bleaching that you are doing, your hair kind of falls out as soon as we take the foils out. Now in terms of, let's check my hair integrity. Now mind you, I told you guys that my curl pattern is going to loosen. I knew that, so you can tell like my curl pattern compared to the brown hair in terms of how my curl is. This is my brown hair curl and this is my lighter hair curl. It's much looser, I know that. But then these type of treatments, the Olaplex number 3, the take-home treatment, all those things keep your hair's integrity and kind of crunches back your curl as time goes on. So my curl is just not going to look at this elongated, and when I do my wash and go, it's probably going to shrink up again, but it is much looser than it was. And I really like the fact that my face got brighter like how I wanted to, so then when I do my toning, you can see my face frame is going to look a little bit more popping, like as always. So I like how my hair came out. It looks yellow. So I'm going to tone it out at some point. But I think today is the day that I'm really showing you when I take my foils out completely and what I'm doing. So I'm going to have Olaplex number 2 sit in my hair for about 10 to 15 minutes. And I'm going to rinse it out. And I am going to braid it up like how I braided all these sections of my hair that's completed. And then tomorrow I'm going to tackle another one. I'm going to possibly tackle the middle part. And I'm going to keep going. So I hope we did okay today. We did good today. This part is done. So tomorrow we'll tackle that. So I'll see y'all mañana.